You know, I think this is what the Nerf bandolier was meant for. There we go. Yeah, that's a good setup. Gonna have to add more of these loops. Yeah, all the shells. I want this thing to be stiff as a board with shells by the time I'm done with it. All the shells! All of them! What's good, everybody? Valley here once again. Welcome to the temporary table, once again, like always. And this time we're taking a look at this thing. This is the Firefly Shotgun by Colonel Wasp. And this is a special version that I have sort of customized myself. I have tinted the shell red and then painted gold from the inside to influence the red when the light hits it just right. So you're not just looking at a candy red shell, you're also looking at sort of a metallic-y reflection, and it looks really nice paired up with the gold. And yes, this is a really interesting blaster. Not only for the fact that it looks like a combat shotgun, but for the fact that it works like a combat shotgun because it uses these. These are the Firefly Shells. And as you can see, they are very small and short. They only use a single half dart, which is very interesting, that instantly turns this thing more into a pump action rifle rather than a actual shotgun, but that's splitting hairs. And to go along with all that, I designed my own printed version, which works just as well. The tolerances inside need tweaking with some tightening rings or something, but that can be fixed later on. But yes, it is a nice little sort of just facsimile that works quite well. I mean, the numbers might be a little bit less considering it's printed, so it's not quite as smooth, and their tolerances and all that might be a little bit different. But I tried my best to make it work. But yeah, this is a very, very nice blaster. The barrels are aluminum, which are very nice. Mine, you might also notice if you've watched Sykes' video on this blaster, is the fact that my barrels are longer. That does two things. It increases my ammo capacity by 2, also gives me more potential for higher FPS, which is quite nice. These are an option you can get from Colonel Wasp's Taobao. I'll have to find the link, but that will be down below if you'd like to get yourself one of these. I believe Monkey Mods also sells these, but as far as I know, they're out of stock right now. They were selling them for about $60 a piece, and that's with the shorter barrels like what Syke had. So you'll only have 5+1 as opposed to the 7+1 of mine. But yeah, the barrels are very thick. That is solid aluminum, and it's anodized with this nice gold. The sides of the grip are very flat and kind of hard to grip with the heavier spring load that is in this thing. I believe it's a Worker 18 kg spring. But yes, thoughtfully though, Colonel Wasp modeled in these nice holes so you can make your own mounting plates or anything, and then just stick it to the side. I think this thing would benefit really well from a hand strap, like a Mossberg style hand strap. It is also apparently compatible with other pump grips. I'll have to see if I can get myself one of those in the future to test out, because I think I saw a picture, and if it's the picture I'm thinking of, it looks quite nice. But yes, moving back to here, you got your loading gate. It works like a real shotgun. You just take your shells, and I have a couple in here right now. Oh, no, I do not. So it's all good. You just take it, put it in. 1, 2, and I just have some re-glued worker heads on some foam bodies right here. And Syke mentioned that the edges of the lifter are quite sharp. They are a little bit sharp, but just don't shove your finger in too far. And you will know whenever you are at your max capacity, and there we are. That is 7 shots. And yes, whenever you can either get this assembled or as a kit, I believe. Actually, I think you can only get it as a kit. And when you're assembling it, do not forget this little metal piece right here over the extractor clip, because without that, you're not going to extract reliably at all. was only given partial instructions, so yeah, I had kind of figured out myself. And I saw this little piece of metal and it finally clicked, so I just put that in with the screw on top of the extractor clip itself, which nice thing is the extractor clip is a separate piece, so if you need to, you can, say, remove it to replace it with a new one, say if the lip of the extractor clip gets worn down. On the back, you got yourself a nice long shot sized plunger tube, which houses a really nicely sealed plunger, which I lubed up with some super lube. And then you've got your whole sliding plate system, which it works like a long shot basically back here. You've also got a nice end strike stock point attachment, which is slightly wider at the top than normal end strike stock points, so you will have some issue fitting some stocks, like as long as they have a thin and flexible point right here. You can see it's a little red in here. Also, the fact that the stock point is farther back than most blasters. Most blasters have their stock point right about here or so, but that is quite nice because it means that shorter stocks that you'd normally not be able to use, like say a Retaliator stock, something like that, works quite well in here. My favorite stock on here, if I can get it on here, there you go, is the First Order Stormtrooper stock, which it just flows really well. Like this isn't exactly the same, but it still works really well, and it makes it super, super comfortable for use. Plus, it works well with the aesthetics, so what more can you ask for? And yes, I'm going to fire up the chronograph right here. There we go. I'm going to load one, which sometimes if you're tilting downwards, you will not chamber a round into the lifter area successfully. It works best if you're about level or slightly tilted up. So that is part of the use of it. It is slightly gravity assisted. Bring forward and chamber, and I'm going to load one in just to prove a point that, you know, you can have 7 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, which is quite nice. It means you can have one ready, you can top up on the fly, which is a nice thing about these shell blasters. And I'm going to get a few shots. 194, and as I prime back, the shell goes flying, which is quite nice. It doesn't use an ejector sort of arm like the Spring Thunder does. It basically just has the extractor that pulls it back, and then there's a lip of plastic that kind of just kicks the shell out and away from the extractor. There we go. 181. I think this thing needs to be greased again, because I've been messing with it a lot. 202. Uh-oh. Yep, that shell did not extract. I've been having trouble with that one shell. And I don't think it's anything to do with the blaster, it's just the shell. Or maybe there's some dirt in here, I don't know. But that can happen sometimes. It's easy enough to just kind of get your fingernail and pull it out. There you go. 196. Oh, there it goes again. Are you not working well? I think the extractor just kind of got a little funked up. And yes, I said funked, not fucked. There you go. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go again. Is my extractor getting worn down already? I don't know. Let's try that again. 169. There you go. .176. And mind you, these aren't the best darts. They're kind of old and worn. There it goes again. Looks like I need to grease some things up. That is one thing about me having put the candy clear on here, is that it has made some things thicker, so I need to work with the tolerances and everything, maybe tighten some things down. Ah, there we go. What I did was I took the bit of spring steel out bent the little bit of metal forward just to kind of straighten out a little bit, to put a little bit more pressure on the extractor, and it's working fine now. So there we go, all's well. And it looks like we need to load up more shells. So while I've got it primed already, I'll just put more shells in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go, and I'll stick one more in there just for good measure. 162. 179. Now I was getting numbers closer to the 200s and stuff before, so I think that might just be down to seals and stuff, but still, around 200, like it had that high of like 200 or so. That is still no joke for a blaster like this. Shortly after putting this together, I was getting around 230s and stuff, so that is still really good. But yeah, it's all down to tuning it and everything, having the best darts for it. And I think that the Dart Zone Pro darts might work better for this. Hold on, I've got a shell with one in there, so there's one. Here we go. 175. But yeah, it's all down to testing and everything and tweaking, and I might need to relube the tube and everything because I have been playing around with it a lot since I assembled it not too long ago. But yeah, I think it's a worthy blaster and it's really fun. This would be perfect as a secondary in a loadout, I feel. Especially in like one of those airsoft style back holsters or something. That way you can keep it out of sight, out of mind for whenever you need it. That way you can take your long range pot shots and everything, top up on the fly. And plus, the shorter version would work really well for CQB, which that's the one that you're most likely going to get anyway if you're going to purchase from Monkey Mods, which are good friends of the channel. And also, I've heard from a few people down the pipeline that he is also working on a frame for this, kind of based on the Remington 870, which has no stock point and is more of the sort of traditional trench gun style shotgun, which I really like. And that is sort of more my preferred form factor for a shotgun, like a sidearm shotgun. That way you can have the shorter barrels and everything, maybe a lighter spring load, and have it more as a dedicated secondary on like a side holster or something. So that is really fun. And considering these shells are really small, it's going to be really easy to make little holders for them, like the Spring Thunder clips and everything. Like you could have a side saddle right here for them or anything. And I will release the files for this in the future. It's just, you know, I need to tweak a few more things about them, make them a little bit more snug on darts and all that jazz. But yeah, they load up just fine. There you go. There's that. There's that. It ejects just fine. And there's another dart. Let's fire this one while we're at it. 203, there you go. I think it's also the fact that I've had these darts sitting in these shells for a while because I was setting up for the video and all that. And yeah, you can buy these shells from Monkey Mods, I believe, as well. I think I have 16 of them right now, but due to the fact that the shells are so small, I believe they're quite cheap, so there's always that. Anyway, that's about all I've got time for right now. Let me know what you think of the Firefly Shotgun down in the comments below. I'll also have the link in the description, and also I'll put a link in a pinned comment or something. But yeah, I just wanted to thank Enoch and Colonel Wasp for getting this my way and letting me take a look at it, because this is a really cool blaster, and innovation in the hobby is greatly appreciated. But yeah, I'll have links down below to where you can get this and all that, as well as my Patreon if you'd like to help support me, especially after recent events that I do not want to think about right now because it bums me out, and I'm trying to just kind of keep moving with my life. I've been moping for too long as it is. So, as ever, mine is Valor. Thanks for watching.